Can black men heal after single motherhood? Black children from two-parent homes do better as adults than children from one-parent homes when it comes to prison, poverty, and graduating from college. The percentage of children living with only their mother has tripled in the last 30 years and continues to go up. According to the National Assessment of Educational Progress, a sector of the U.S. Department of Education, 84% of black students lack proficiency in mathematics and 85% of black students lack proficiency in reading skills. In the year 2020, graduation rates had increased, and this might have been caused by states waiving and loosening graduation requirements. But in the years prior, the graduation rate has been decreasing for black high school students, which is leaving more black men to live in poverty, more black men to end up in correction facilities, more black men are being killed by other black men, and so we are the only race that kills each other more than any other race. In today's world, black men living an adult life are feeling lost and misunderstood because they did not grow up in the right environment. This is making it difficult to live a normal life, start a mentally and physically healthy family, and be respected by other races and peers. Before we can answer how can black men heal after single motherhood, we must look into the reason why this is happening. Let's first dive into the history of dehumanization. Researchers have found that many Americans subconsciously associate blacks with apes. As a result, it leads to the inability to accept African Americans as fully human. That association can lead other races of people to endorse consequences that can include violence, stereotypes, and many more that we have and have not seen yet. The story of Emmit points out a truth that black boys are often viewed differently than their white peers because of race. Instead of being seen as children, they're seen as juvenile delinquents. The cycle continues to this current day, and many Americans have disdain for black men and boys. You can see that in current news with many violent crimes against black boys and men.
You know what? Explain to me. You explain to me why black kids aren't graduating high school. Explain that one to me. Explain to me why black kids are shooting each other in rates significantly higher than whites are shooting each other. Explain to me why 13% of the population is responsible for 50% of the murder. Explain to me why the number of black kids in prison, not for innocent reasons, not for walking down the street and getting pulled into a prison, is so high. Explain, if it has nothing to do with culture, explain to me why the single motherhood rate in the black community jumped from 20% to 70% in the same course of time that the civil rights movement has made such tremendous strides. Is America more racist now than it was in 1960? And if it is, please explain to me how that happened.
Over the last 30 years, the amount of single black mothers has risen to over 75%, which means majority of black boys are born out of wedlock and raised in single mother homes. The lack of a father can lead to many consequences like rising crime, the inability to compete economically, and mental illness. With the father not being in the home, this can leave the mother in a mix of feelings that can be potentially dangerous for the child. We will go over 3 examples of what this could mean. Example 1, the mama's boy. There's 2 types of mama's boys. Someone that's dependent on their mother and someone who loves their mother and is not afraid to show it. We are talking about the first type because they are dependent on their mother, while the second type is not. If the mother is overprotective of her son and will always make sure that her son is successful, this can sometimes damage the boy because he is not learning how to fail on his own. The mother usually consoles the son every time he fails, and without the balance of the disciplinary that usually comes from the father, the son will always look for his mother or a woman like his mother to console him and help him with his failures. This happens because the mother is usually lacking male attention herself and is dependent on the attention her son gives.
What did I do to you? What did I do to you?
I don't like you.
What did I do to you? What did I do?
You shit, you're a dirt asshole, and you
am I?
From my man, my son.
You're mad?
So she creates a relationship with her son where he will be dependent on her. As the boy grows into a man, he will have troubles being independent as well as the mother. This will keep them close by and make it hard to move far away from each other. This will later play into his dating life and the ability to create his own healthy family, because the mother will become jealous of the woman or the family that is trying to take her son away from her. So, if the black man that is a mama's boy does not get the help that he needs to heal from his single mother, this can lead into him becoming his mother's pseudo husband and him liking the importance of the role and not having to commit to another woman. Example number 2, the mentally depressed. If the mother is not there because she is working a lot, or whatever reason she has to not be around her son, this can lead to him having a premature sense of independence. This may sound good, however, they are not meeting the emotional needs of their son. Common behaviors that these boys usually confront from their mothers are being shamed for showing emotions by hearing phrases like grow up, quit acting like a baby, stop crying, and the list goes on. When the child is distressed or afraid, the mother separates herself or becomes irritated and sometimes beats her son. The mother ignores the cries or cues of sadness from her son. Subconsciously, the boy is learning that seeking out help or comfort is not acceptable and must learn to bear with the emotions on his own. So, as he grows up, he will suppress outward displays of emotions due to the fear of rejection or punishment. The black man will then develop a false sense of independence, and they will start to think that they don't need the support of other people in their lives. This can lead him to 2 different types of lifestyles that can still come with the side of depression. The first includes being a bum. Someone who is unmotivated to take care of themselves but will always seek out pleasures to dismiss the sadness. Or the second is high function depression, where you work to get rid of sadness and hope the money that comes from it is a supplement of the emotions that you never learned as a child. So, if the black man that is emotionally numb does not get the help that he needs to heal from his single mother, this can lead into him not needing affection or love and abusing whatever he can to fill the void. Example number 3, the criminal. If the mother is a criminal, then the son's gonna be a criminal. And shout out to T Grizzly.
Uncle smoking crack, granny alcoholic. I got rich and cleaned them up, yeah, now we poppin'. They respect me in my hood, so they acknowledge.
Sometimes life can end up like that, but for the majority of black men, they end up behind bars or 6 feet under. The mother or the environment that she picks to raise her son in can lead to the cycle of more criminals teaching black men how to become criminals.
Let me just ask you a question. Why are you guys Bloods? Why are you in the gangs?
Why is we in the gang? I guess because the area we grow up in, man. Everybody go in that area, man. Everybody follow the same line. BGs grow up to be OGs.
So, if the black man that is a criminal does not get the help that he needs to heal from his single mother, this could lead into him being dead or locked up. So now the question is, how can black men recover from being raised by a single mother? Well, the first question is, what does he need to work on? He needs to figure out his weaknesses and strengths and improve the weaknesses and fine-tune his strengths. The next question is, how does he approach and keep track of his success? I recommend using notes in your phone, the calendar app on Google or on your phone, or just writing it down and then planning out where you want to be at certain points along the way and the time that you need in order to get to those points. What resources are needed to accomplish the goal? I would recommend just using the internet. Google search your way through your problems and use your network as well. Make sure to find people that have positive influence and get feedback from them. What to do when he feels like giving up? Create a game plan to take one step at a time if you fall off, but stay on track. This may include extending out some of the timelines that you put from the previous question, but this means that you're keeping track of where you are, and so that when you fall off, you know exactly where you need to go. How will he reward himself during and after achieving goals? Short-term and long-term rewards to help motivate yourself to keep healing yourself. So now that I've given like all of my advice and everything like that, I want to tell you guys like what I've actually done, because of course I'm not going to make this video that doesn't relate to me in some way capacity. So I will share what I've done, and it starts off with therapy. I had to go through quite a few therapists actually in order to get one that helped me get to where I am now. So that's the first thing. The next thing was expanding my skills in critical thinking and communication. I've always had good communication skills, but it's the critical thinking part that I started to get introduced to when I was younger. But having different people's perspectives and being able to think within that, and to be able to understand and to be able to even open up to other ideas and other perspectives and be able to actually think and be able to process, that's something that you really need to be able to do, because people are going to throw a lot of things at you, and if you get kind of fumbled up in their word salad, it can look bad if you respond in the wrong way. So you do just need to make sure you digest it. If you didn't get it, just ask questions and make sure that you are understanding, and then make sure that before you respond, you think. The next thing is just being able to surround yourself with, of course, like-minded people, but the minds that you want to be like. So, of course, they say you should try to be the dumbest person in the room, so that means that everyone around you is smarter. I don't really know if that works, but I will say you do want to look for other people that have the same kind of goals, whether it just be financial, whether it just be whatever it is that you want it to be. But you want to find someone that's common, someone that is on the same page as you. Preferably somebody that looks like you, but if not, it can include other races as well, because this is where you get the open perspective. You can learn other people's cultures, you can take on other people's ideas, and you can play with your ideas and mix them up and get whatever you want out of it. So yeah, surround yourself with people that you like. Just a quick little story. So before I moved to where I am now, which is like downtown of the city I live in, I was living out in the suburbs, and your boy was just not feeling good about himself because I wasn't really able to like connect with people. A lot of people around me either had families or they're just older than me, and I didn't really find people that were like me. And so that's why I moved, and now that I'm down here, I find so many people that are like me, and it's way much more better to just be myself and then actually figure out what myself is, if that is a thing. Not in that way though. Your boy is straight. Alright, so last thing that I have, and this is the part that I'm still doing, so no judgment onto you if you don't do this right away, but it's to find a mentor or a life coach. So I've like talked to some people, but like you have to be very, very picky on who you want, because you want to be damn near exactly like them, or you want to make sure that they can give you the advice that you need to get to where you want to be. If they're not where you want to be, don't have them be your mentor or your coach. It's not going to make sense. So find a good coach. Spend the time to do so. All right, so there's a reason why I think that we should spend the time to like heal the black men. And the reasons why is because I think it is going to make, you know, black men better for the culture. It's going to decrease black on black homicides and suicides. It's gonna hopefully create a better image of us for other races. And hopefully in turn, this also starts decreasing single motherhood, because men are taking the time to evaluate, you know, who they're going to be getting with and creating children with. And like I said, if you heal from your mother first, you can actually see these patterns that women do. And if you understand them, then it'll just be better for yourself. And then when it comes down to some other things that it can help, I don't know, actually. That's it. The last thing I have is that we need to start resetting the culture. I'm gonna kind of do like a movement thingy. I don't know, start a hashtag. So this is something that I'm starting. It's called Reset the Culture. Honestly, all it is, because we have the culture, we just need to reset it at a couple points and tweak it, and we good. So let's do that. No need to redo everything. It's just reset a couple things, you know what I'm saying? A couple little settings, you know? But that was Darius's reasons as to why black men need to heal from single motherhood. I'm gonna make some more videos like this. Appreciate you watching all of this. Until I'll see you on the next one.